When we talk about WeChat, what usually comes to mind? Instant messaging, mobile payment, or sharing moments. In consideration of the status quo, both mainstream and public voices focus largely on its most featured functions like mobile payment, instant communication, and communal sharing of information. But what if WeChat is more than a communication platform? What if it is also a space where language learning happens naturally, informally, and collaboratively? In fact, thanks to the multifaceted approaches WeChat presents in virtual interaction, not only are hundreds of thousands of users welcomed to be live moment sharers in its moment zone, but also encouraged to establish themselves as informative content generators and sharers via official accounts within. In this case, WeChat itself, beyond multiple interactive functions, has also been home to the digital wilds. To be exact, digital wilds in WeChat has been markedly characteristics of language learning, especially of English learning, which largely inspires the current study.
The term digital wilds, according to Sauro and Zoro, refers to non-formal language learning that occurs in virtual environments, including digital communities, social networks, all of which are independent of formal educational contexts, like classroom learning or school teaching. According to existing scholarly documents, to further flesh out the concept of digital wilds, Throne describes it as contexts that scaffold social activity and less regulated than a classroom. And he reckons this has interestingly facilitated knowledge exchange and acquisition. Digital games are a case in point.
We barely escaped with our lives in Saint Denis. Now we got a rat.
Well, Molly clearly talked, but who else?
Maybe we pushed things too hard. Well, maybe time for folks like us is past.
Regardless of gaming habits, Sunvis study has revealed teenagers learned English by heart and use it freely in ordinary conversations while getting involved in digital wilds afforded by digital games. Perhaps more importantly, they did not identify themselves as second language learners, but as second language users. This shift in identity from learner to user is central to digital wilds. The question then is, can WeChat function as such a space?
As to WeChat's boost in knowledge exchange and acquisition, its split-second communication and diverse modes of source sharing enable teachers to share all kinds of multimodal learning materials and students to reach greater overall knowledge. Moreover, in terms of its help in language learning, not only did it assist in bettering students' language skills in critical areas like vocabulary, grammar, and speaking through merits like improvement of students' time spent on language learning, but also motivates students to speak better in wake of frequent peer interaction within. And in Jin's research, she furthered WeChat's advantage in language learning by pointing to its provision of an effortless access to large numbers of native language speakers, authentic communication with native speakers, abundant linguistic resources that cater to different learners' needs, and the opportunity to establish an identity as competent language users. Unlike classrooms, learning via WeChat interactions are spontaneous, socially driven, user-initiated, and in the experience of our group member, Juns, this learning becomes visible.
Hi, I'm the poet. Please subscribe, like, and follow us.
As an original content generator in WeChat and an advocate for poets, I have been in an earnest effort to promote the digital wilds of English learning by habitually posting my own original English poems on an authority-subsidized WeChat official account. And I have also been zealous about making informative exchange with my readers on the Common Zone. For example, this reader commented that through my poem, she actually learned several great English words. And during another exchange, this reader asked me whether the end of my poem really conveyed the theme as eternity by poetry. And I replied, through the introduction of the main idea of Shakespeare's famous poem Sonnet 18, as well as the writing device of parody to further elaborate my work as well as improve the reader's poetic knowledge. In addition, in this exchange about diction, this reader asked me about the omission of the definite article the. And in reply, I referred to the linguistic poem as ungrammaticality in English linguistics to acknowledge her doubts. Further, I pointed out that in poetry writing, certain kinds of omission of articles is totally acceptable for the sake of poetic brevity, because rigorous pursuit of grammatical accuracy can sometimes lead to several problems like overflow of articles, which totally causes certain kinds of disturbingly repeated syllables. All in all, this meaningful exchange can be truly mutually rewarding and instructive.
In conclusion, WeChat undoubtedly has been positioned as one of the most powerful communication tools, especially in mainland China. Yet apart from this classic function, it also serves as a powerful carrier of digital wiles which holds avant-garde and enlightening affordances of advancing knowledge sharing and acquiring that deserve salient attention.
It should be noted that as long as man still breathes and science still beats, digital wilds shall not cease, as it lives, as it is facilitated in this digital virtuality.